gears up for the voting as the first phase of world's largest election, Lok Sabha Elections 2024, begins on April 19. But what happens in the last 72 hours ahead of Lok Sabha polls? Let's find out. Experts say that the most critical time in the election process includes the last day of the campaign period, the non-campaign period as in the last 48 hours, and the poll day. Like for example, on the last day of campaigning for the first phase, Rahul Gandhi attacked the Prime Minister and called this election an ideological battle, claiming that the BJP and RSS were trying to end the constitution. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi invoked Lord Ram on the occasion of Ram Navami, stepped up his attack on the opposition India bloc, and said while he went to the people with hope in 2014, trust in 2019, he was now approaching them with guarantee for a third straight term in office. Now, after the campaigns have ended for the first phase, what we are witnessing today is termed as election silence, a time for voters to reflect. Now, in the last 72 hours, the monitoring of campaign expenditure includes the last check of candidates' expenditure registers and strengthening the inspection teams. There are flying squads, static surveillance teams, excise teams, and 24/7 district control room. The adherence of political parties and candidates to the Model Code of Conduct is strictly monitored to prevent any activity that can disrupt societal harmony. The borders are sealed to keep out anti-social and disruptive elements. Now, in the last 48 hours, the unlawful assemblies, public meetings, and the use of loudspeakers are prohibited, and gatherings are limited to max 5 people. Door-to-door campaigning is still permitted. Political functionaries and party workers who are not voters of the constituency are expected to leave once campaigning ends. The period also sees area domination activities by the Central Armed Police Forces, a restriction on opinion polls and political advertisements through electronic and social media, and the enforcement of a ban on the sale of liquor. Then, to ensure transparency at critical polling stations, video and still cameras, webcasting, and CCTV surveillance are implemented. Now, on the day before polling, that is today, randomly formed polling parties are dispatched to the polling stations with electronic voting machines, EVMs, and other election materials. They move with security personnel in designated vehicles. Reserve EVMs are allocated to the sector officers. Now, let's talk about the polling day, which is tomorrow. The general restrictions on the poll day include using one vehicle for the candidates, their agents, and party workers. However, using these vehicles to ferry voters to polling stations is considered a corrupt practice. The use of mobile phones except by officers on duty, campaigning, using campaign-related posters or banners, and loudspeakers or megaphones within 100 meters of a polling station are banned. Booth-level officers are stationed at voter assistance booths to help voters locate their details in the alphabetical electoral roll locator for the polling station. Now, before polling commences, the presiding officer must demonstrate a marked copy of the electoral roll and the EVMs and conduct a mock poll before the candidates' polling agents. During the poll, polling officials monitor activities such as voter queues, voter identification, applying indelible ink, and ensuring the swift replacement of malfunctioning EVMs. A complaint handling mechanism functions at the block level to address all complaints and queries within 30 minutes. So make your vote count, and for more updates on Lok Sabha elections and news around the globe, keep watching the Indian Express.